guys, it's Carson.
Hola.
This is my best friend Kirsten.
Mm.
And yeah, I know we don't post vlogs, but like
We do now.
today it's
That
needed.
was my phone.
RIP iPhone 7 2019.
It's not a 7, it's a 6S. Thank you very much.
Oof. Okay, but basically, this is usually singing channel, but not anymore. Ew, I hate that I did that, but like, okay. Could you see?
No.
No, okay, good. But something heartbreaking happened today. So yeah, we live in Alaska, but like we're vacationing in Arizona for a month, so that's fun.
Alaska babies.
What even? Okay, and basically we're vacationing in Arizona in my summer home, and my neighbor, yes, and by the way, I'm in love with the boy next door, so that's what this is about. And so basically the neighbors, so they have 6 sons, and let's call this one son that I really like Steve, sure. And so I've known him for like 5 years. It's a long time. And I started liking him like 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And basically every time I come back, the feelings come rushing back too. So that's fun. And this trip was extra special because we started getting closer. And it kind of started last trip in March.
Actually closer, like closer.
What even does that mean? Okay, so we're getting like really close, and this sounds really stupid, but like I used him as a pillow and he let me, so that's a sign. This boy was sending so many mixed signals, so many, and the flirts were unbelievable. Kirsten?
What?
What are you doing?
I was picking up my knee.
Okay, well, technical difficulties, but all right. So yeah. So many flirts. The flirts were hardcore. But then I thought he figured out a long time ago because he was reading my text and he was like, I read all of it, but I just wanted to know if it was about me. And I was like, and he was like, so it is about me? And then I was like, and I ran downstairs. Yeah, that's me, run away from situations like that. And so this whole time, that was like 2.5 weeks ago. This whole time, I thought he knew. And then the other day, he saw something and he was like, who's that about? And I was like, come on, you already know. And he was like, no. And I was like, oh my Jesus, I thought he knew this whole time and liked me back. And so I went over to his house today and like he saw a reminder and it was like called the Steve plan because we had a plan to ask if he liked me. So Kirsten, here, come. Kirsten was like, so I went to the bathroom and he was like, she said, do you like Carson? We'll bleep that out. And
Steve said.
Yeah, Steve was like, no. And then he started smiling. And
No. Okay, let me tell this part.
fine.
Okay.
She was here, so yeah.
Okay. Here's the motherfucking tea. Okay. Let me just like. Alright, so.
She's not wearing pants, by the way, so yeah. TMI? No.
Okay, so she goes up to the bathroom, and I'm like, she's texting me. She's blowing up my phone. And I was like, okay. In my head, I was like, okay, well, if I'm on my phone and then I look up and like ask him, then it's gonna be like, that was planned. Like, that's stupid. So I was like,
I'll just do this.
So I put my phone, I actually threw my phone. Where's my phone? I was like on it, and then I was like across the couch, and he looked at me and he was like, you okay? And I was like, yeah, it's just this annoying girl is texting me. And he was like, okay. And then he was playing what video games? He was just chilling, and I watched him for a little bit, so it made it seem like it wasn't planned. And then I just watched him, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Do you like Carson?" And Steve goes, "No." No, actually, no. He was like, "No." And I was like, "What?" Because I didn't hear him. Because he was really quiet. And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Mm-hmm." And then I, like, grabbed my phone. And I go back on it.
Ew.
And then I, like, realized, okay, then it's going to look like I'm telling someone. So I just, like, put it down. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Well, it just seems like it." And he was like, "Really? It does?" And I was like, "Yeah, it does." Because it did seem like that. It seemed like he liked her, and he, I don't know, he was confusing. Like, one day, or like 1 minute, he would be like all like right next to her, and the other minute, he's like wanting to leave the room, and it's like, I don't really understand it. And I have a boyfriend. I'm supposed to understand these things. But I don't. So, and then she walks out, and I'm like, But I didn't believe him when he said no, because he was very smiley. And then when we left,
Okay.
Carson can take over.
Yeah, so I kept asking him. I was like, "Why are you being so awkward? Why are you being so silent?" He kept smiling. He's like, "I'm not. She was just on her phone." And of course, I knew that was a lie because she had already told me that she was like not on her phone anymore. So, yeah. And then, okay, I thought she was videotaping, and that's really awkward. But then he was like, "No, she was on her phone." And I was like, okay, but you're being really awkward and really silent. He was like, "No, I'm not. I just have nothing to talk about." And I was like, boy, what are you doing to me? And so my mom calls, and she's like, Kirsten, it's time to go." And we were like, "It's 8:30, Mom. We're not ready." And she was like, "Sorry." So we got home at sorry, we're really lame. So we got on, and like every night we play Minecraft with this guy, Steve. Yeah. And so we're playing Minecraft, our nightly Minecraft. And so I was feeling really brave. You're welcome, Kirsten. But
Thank you.
yeah, I was feeling super brave. And so he joined our game. And I was like, "Okay, this sounds really weird." And I sent it, and he was like, "Yes?" And I was like, so yeah, I really, really, really like you." And he was like, cool? And
No, he just said okay.
No, he said, let me read this. He says, "Okay." I said, "Okay, now it's awkward," and, okay? He said, "It's fine. Better to get it over with." And I was like, yeah, well, I hope you'll still be my friend, because you really are one of my best friends." And then, okay, hold on, let me read it. And then I said, "Get it over with?" And he says, yeah. And I was like, honey. And he comes on, and he's like, "We can still be friends." And I was like, and then he was like, "Oh, I meant to say get it out in the open." I was like, sure. And then he was like saying all this stuff, and he was like, it's fine, I don't take stuff weirdly." And I was like, okay, hope we can still be friends. And he was like, yeah. And then I was like, I'm under a table. You have the picture?
I have a video.
Yeah, she has a video. Insert clip here. No, just kidding, because I don't know how to do that. So we'll show you. I said, I'm under a table. There's me.
Turn up the volume.
Oh, hold on. Hold up. Hold up. Your phone is stupid. You should get the iPhone XR.
I wish.
Stop. My crush just told me that he didn't like me, okay? So, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm under a table. And he was like, kitchen table? And Kirsten was on there, so she was like,
Yep.
Yep. And I was like, yep. I'm just being depressed under my table. He was like, depressed? And I was like, yeah. Steve? I thought you liked me. Here's the good part. He said, as a friend.
Yeah, friends.
I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, sorry if I made you think that. And I was like, it's all good. We're all good. And
then he freaking goes, Kirsten? I was like, yeah. And he goes, is that why you asked me that question earlier? And me trying to be a good friend and trying to cover her bootay up and not. I was like, no, it just seemed like it.
And then
Carson goes in the chat and goes, yeah, I was like,
we could have gone off just fine, but then I was like, oh yeah. And Steve goes on and he's like, what? I'm like, go back in the chat, honey. And he was like, oh. And so I'm like, yeah. And then he says, I think I'm done for the night. I gotta go.
And it was only like 9.
It was only like 9. He doesn't have to, his curfew is like, he has
11.
to get off at 11:30ish. And so I'm like, okay. Tomorrow's gonna be awkward.
Yeah, we're most likely going to his house tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to his house for most of the day tomorrow, probably. We were at his house since like 3 today, all the way until 8:30, and that's not even the normal time. Usually it's like 3 o'clock to like midnight.
Yeah.
And so that was really awkward. And so we'll see how it turns out tomorrow, and I'll probably post an update later.
I'm Carson Adams, and you're watching Disney Channel.
All right. Bye.
Bye.